What's up, coaches? Man, it's been a little while. I stopped doing coffee with Coach Chambo. I can hear myself talking. Gotta mute myself. Thank you, Twitter live stream. I swear I'm gonna get better at this someday. This whole going live and being on Twitter, it's very strange. So I want to talk today a little bit about being healthy. I know that we've all kind of gotten into season-ish, right? Most people are doing Georgia. Dude, I don't know what y'all are doing. How about already being in week 1? That's great. But we're going to be, scrimmage week for most of the rest of us, looking to push in that season. And although I don't do it the same way, I know a lot of people kind of have just checked out of reality now, right? So, you've said bye to your families because it's football season, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I'm a little more on get the hell out of the office and go home and, be with your family. They shouldn't pay for you being a football coach. Although, some places it's a little more necessary. Anyway, that's a different topic. But today, I want to talk to you guys about just keeping yourselves healthy. So I know, dude, especially right now with groceries going, absolutely crazy, right? Like, the cost of groceries is so much. By the way, if you don't use Motion Calendar, do that. It's pretty awesome. If you have more than school and coaching going on, it's pretty legit. Anyway, meal planning, meal prepping, how much to eat, how to keep yourself healthy. Look, guys, I drink way too much beer and bourbon. And so I'm going to say way too much. Let me not oversell this, okay? Because I'm not an alcoholic or anything crazy, but I do drink my fair share. And we all know that those are both pretty high in calories. So I got to think about things like that. So about once or twice a year, I have to go on a diet of sorts. But the diet really isn't dieting. It's really just, hey, let me eat healthy for a little bit. And so it always comes down to counting macros. And I found out in the military about 5, 6, 10 years ago, whatever it was, that people don't know how to do this. And since the military and the coaching overlap so stinking well, everywhere else, I'm assuming it's the same. So it's not that we don't want to take care of ourselves. Look, energy drinks are not good for you, but I understand we have long hours. We're going to use some energy drinks, right? Caffeine's probably not that good for you, but we're not giving up caffeine. Smoking and dipping your own thing. Do whatever you do. But you don't have to eat unhealthy. You don't have to eat out of the hot box at the convenience store just because it's football season. Right? You don't have to completely let yourself go just because it's football season. And if you read any of my articles in Headsets Magazine, be fbcoachsimpson.com/headsets, I think. Oh, no, that's it. I think that's it. You'll see that part of being a leader and being a coach is leading by example, right? The whole be, no, do thing. You have to be what it is you're trying to represent to those kids and trying to get them to do. So taking care of yourself is you owe it to yourself and your family, and you owe it to the kids that you're standing in front of every day. So I just wanted to show you guys kind of how I go about doing that today, because it's very, very easy. And then we'll talk about prices and all that good stuff, okay? Actually, let's talk prices first. Let me get the right screen over here. Maybe. What did I do with it? There it is. Hey, it worked. All right. So just wanting to look at some costs here, okay? Because that's what it always comes down. People say, I ain't got the time, I ain't got the money. Well, when I started meal prepping, the first thing I realized was that you save a crap ton of time because you don't have to cook every day. You literally need a microwave. And most of our coaching offices have microwaves, okay? So if you take away the excuse of not enough time, because you're going to cook for like 3 hours one day a week, and then you have food for the rest of the week, then it comes down to money. And if it's not one of those two, then I have no idea what your complaint is. Just meal prep and be healthy. So let's talk funds. All right, so here's 50 of these, which you don't need 50. You need basically one for each day of the week. Maybe, I guess, 2 for each day of the week. So now you're at 15-ish. So whatever. This is just the 50 pack I brought up. 50 cents a piece. Okay, $25. We'll look at the total cost here in a bit. Here is the Walmart cart from my local Walmart. Okay. I know groceries are more expensive, and in some places they're higher than others. But I assure you that they are still much, much cheaper than that shitty hamburger and french fries you're about to go get from wherever you're going. Brahms, Sonic, if you're an Oklahoma-ish person. McDonald's, Burger King. Those, are they even food? I'm pretty sure McDonald's is not even real food. My family hasn't touched McDonald's since like 2017 or something. We've been against it for quite a while. But, so let's just look at some of the stuff. So, what I always do is tell people to build it out on meats and then green veggies. Green veggies is really want to be, okay? A lot of the other ones, you start getting into higher sugar counts. I don't know. Green veggies. That's where you want to be. And then sweet potatoes and brown rice. So I just looked up those things. So here's 3 things from Walmart. Okay, so here is Brussels sprouts, green beans, broccoli, 1 bag apiece. 6 sweet potatoes. Couple fillets of fish. This is wild caught. Make sure it's wild caught. Look, get out of the farm raised fish at anywhere you eat. That's gross. New York strip, and this is choice, so I guess you could probably get a cheaper one if you wanted, but I don't know why you would. I have been real big on smoking these whole chickens lately. I did this yesterday. Smoked 2 chickens, and that's what we're going to eat for dinner last night, and I'll eat it for dinner or snacks for the next couple days. And then just natural long grain brown rice. Okay, so I can pick this up, and we'll see in a minute how many meals I can make out of it. But it's a pretty good amount for $55. So you're at $75-ish if you add these things back in. But remember, these you're going to use them over and over again. So the cost per meal in them is going to go down a long time. All right, so let's talk monies then. For those 2 chickens, you're going to get, that you're paying $14 for, you're going to get about 10 meals. Okay. You can look up and see, and we can go through that too. If any of you need help, holler at me. But how much of the chicken you need per meal, and we're going to talk calories in a minute and macros, but you're looking at per meal, you're spending $1.40 for a serving of chicken. $1.40 for a serving of your favorite seasoned, smoked, baked, whatever chicken. Stay away from fried, guys. The whole point of this is to get away from the grease, because that's it's got a caloric value too. The salmon is $11.67 a pound. Per pound, you can get, it's actually a little more than 4 servings. Fish is 4-ounce servings. You can make it 6 if you want. I always did because I could use the extra protein, and the fat's not that bad. But if you did it by the book, you get 4 servings. You actually get a little more because 4 times 4 would be 16. That's $11.67 for 18 ounces. So, because it's a pound. So it would even be a little bit cheaper, but you're looking at like $3 per meal. And then steak, of course, is the most expensive, but still not bad. And this is expensive Walmart steak. This isn't even like going to the butcher and getting it for, $8, $9, $10 a pound. You're paying $13.97 for steak here. Not terrible. Much better than going to steakhouse. But for that, that's per pound. You're supposed to eat 6-ounce steaks. That's how I've always cut them, and it works great. You're at $4.66 per meal. So on average, this out here is the average. See how I didn't mark it? Because there you go. Now it's marked. If you just mix these up equally, on average, you're spending $3 a meal for just protein. Okay. Same thing with green beans, broccoli, Brussels sprouts. So these little bags, each of these is 4 servings. I highly recommend in the beginning you stick with that as you're serving. But if you need to start doubling it at some point, or if you're not meeting your caloric needs, then double it. But, dude, $1 for 4 meals is crazy. Okay, so on average, 30 cents a meal. And then for your starch, the sweet potato, it's got them $1 per potato. Okay, just over $1 a weight. You're eating 200 grams. I think a pound is 460 grams or something. So that's really 2 servings per potato. So you could actually double that and cut your price in half. Right, about $1. I think it was $1.08 per pound. That's close enough. And then brown rice is $1.64 for that bag. That's 21 meals comes in that bag. 8 cents per stinking meal. Look, even if you add all this up, you're under $5. That's per meal. Seasoned how you want it, cooked how you want it, freeze it or refrigerate it, carry it to work, microwave it, and eat. Even when you caught, like, look, I eat 500 meals because that's 50 cases at 10 uses a piece. That's 500 uses, so you're at 5 cents per meal. If you get more than 10 out of any of them, then you're, which you should, that price just keeps coming down. So you're still under $5 a meal. Okay, so the price isn't the issue, I assure you. But you maybe ask yourself, like, how many of these am I supposed to use? All right, how many meals should I have? And that's a good question. I just realized that I never started the broadcast on Twitter, so this might be YouTube only, but that's okay. It'll fast forward maybe. How many of these meals should I be eating, right? So that's what you always want to find out. So then we get into like how to calculate your needs. I count macros. Okay, counting macros, I started last Friday. This is Wednesday. I'm down over 12 pounds. Just counting macros and drinking water. There's a lot of tricks to it, like don't drink your calories. Get rid of juice. Get rid of milk. Basically, water, black coffee, black tea only. And it sounds a little hard in the beginning, but I assure you you'll get there. Okay, so quit drinking your calories. All your ranch and ketchup and all that crazy stuff, you don't have to eliminate it, but you can reduce it and start using how much you're supposed to use. Like read the label and see how much a serving is supposed to be, so you at least know what you're putting in your body. That's a big part of this, just knowing what you're putting in your body. All right, so they call this your basal metabolic rate. What that means to you is like, I need to know my resting rate and then what I'm adding to it. Okay, so here's all these crazy numbers. Scientists of way more esteem than myself or intelligence came up with these things. I just use them and they work. So don't ask me what it all means. It doesn't matter. Okay? Here's what we know. This is calorie land. You're going to add this. You're going to multiply this times your weight in kilograms. Okay, see, I've converted down here. You're going to multiply this by your height in centimeters. Multiply this by your age in years. And you're going to do some stuff with your activity level. What does it mean? Well, first you need to... this is actually a little bit lower for me now. Yay. Yeah, you got to convert. So I just I built this calculator this morning in like 2 seconds. Right? Divide pounds by 2.205 and you get kilograms. It's rough. Good enough. Multiply inches by 2.54 and you get centimeters. And then your age doesn't have to change. It's still years. So then you just go back and put those into these things. Okay, so it tells me my resting metabolic rate. So just breathing, my cells doing their cell things, my heart beating, my brain thinking, just sitting here resting. I'm going to use 1,818 point all those numbers calories per day. That's my resting metabolic rate. So that's what I'm burning just living here. So anything else I do on top of that is going to burn more calories. I use the Harris-Benedict equation, which basically just gives you these numbers. You're going to take that resting and multiply it by these numbers. Do you have an office job and like the biggest thing you do is walk upstairs in the morning and walk downstairs in the evening? Then you want 1.2. Why? Because you still have to think. You still have to move your hands, run the mouse, these keyboard, walk around the office. So they give you 20% of your calories back. So if I have this job, I multiply times 1.2. I multiply RMR times 1.2, and I get this number. That's how many calories I need to be taking in every day. If you're lightly active, so this is where I tell most coaches to go, because we sweat, we're out in the sun, we're having to cool ourselves. Homeostasis is obviously a big part of what your body does, and it uses energy. Running around with the kids, hopping from drill to drill. There's a lot of extra thinking goes into those drills and how you're problem solving on game night. Lots of stuff. You're up early, you're down late. I tell them in this lightly active area. Now, if you're going to the gym, 3 to 5 times a week on top of that, you want to bump this. So, I live in this 1.375 world. Okay. If I start running again or lifting more, I'm probably still not going to bump it. I'm not going to move up. Okay. I'm just going to take that extra deficit and run with it because I focus on protein anyway. And so I'm going to let my body just kind of consume all that excess fat I've been stacking on from all my beers. Okay. So this is how many total I need to consume per day to maintain. Now, if I want to lose weight, I'm generally going to take this number and I'm going to multiply it by something like -20. Oh, that didn't work out. Not -20. -0.2. Or let's just do this the way that makes sense, because we're live and not going to make ourselves look like an idiot on national computer. Let's multiply it by 0.8. Okay, so I'm cutting out 20%. So that way I'm at a 20% deficit. Now, weirdly enough, for my body height and weight and age, I can stick to the 2,000 calorie limit. You will find out that usually fits most people. If you are very large, you're going to need more calories. Okay, the answer is not to starve yourself. If you're very small and petite, you're going to need way less calories. But then you're probably not here to lose weight. If you're trying to gain weight, right, you're going to add this. Wherever you live, times however much you want to add. So that's times 1.2. So that's adding 20% back in. Okay, so there's your caloric difference. I'm not trying to gain, I'm trying to lose. So I'm just going to hang out in this world. From this point, you just want to divide all of this up by macros, right? So you can Google and get the best option. I like using MyFitnessPal. It's an app. I put in this calories is my goal, and then I tell it everything else I want to know. Okay. What you need to know is that protein is worth about 4 calories for each gram of protein. Okay. Carbs is 4 calories, and fat is 9. And you'll see this different in different places, okay? This isn't, it should be an exact science, but you'll see some people change it a little bit different. MyFitnessPal will do this for you. So, this is calories per gram. Okay, and so then as I'm planning out my meals, how much I need, me personally, to eat every day, I tell people 1 gram of protein per pound you want to weigh. Now, if you're really big and you're losing weight, you got to do this in stages. Okay. This is for people who are lightly active or above. If you're sedentary, a lot of times 0.7 grams of protein per pound you want to weigh. I do this as 1, so I'm just kind of right now aiming for that like 165 mark, so I'll be at 165. Okay. Fat, I tell people never go above 25% of their total caloric intake, which carbs can be kind of, it's the one that gets to be the floater. Okay. The whole point of being healthy is not cutting carbs. It's not a need. So leave the carbs. All right, so out of all these calories I eat every day, $660 of mine are going to come from protein. $625 are going to come from fat. So obviously I'm just doing easy math here. So 1,215 have to come from carbs. So this tells me how many grams of carbs I can have, right? Okay, so I need 303 grams of carbs per day. I can even reverse engineer this one too. See exactly how many grams of fat I need to eat per day. So there you have it. So that's what I'm trying to build out every day. I want 165 grams of carbs, of protein, 300 grams of carbs, around 70 grams of fat. Okay, so then you're just going to go back to this and identify which one's which. This is where something like MyFitnessPal really comes into help because it tracks you all day, right? So I just put in what I ate. It subtracts it from my total, and I can go and check how close I am to hitting these goals. And that will allow you to basically get as close as possible. Once again, you don't have to be exact every day. Try not to go over your total carbs. Try to always hit your protein count, and the rest kind of works itself out. I have gone over carbs to get protein count before. Okay, I have. If you need fat at the end of the day, big old scoop of peanut butter. If you need carbs, throw in a tortilla. You generally don't need carbs. You can learn quickly that everything stinking has carbs in it. All right. If you have any questions on any of that, please do let me know. The whole point of this is like you're not going to spend the rest of your life counting macros. Okay, what it did for me, and I did it hardcore for like 30 days, the very first time ever. And what you find out is that, you just start treating your food like currency. So your carbs become currency, or your macros, right? Count the macros. Macros is what's important. It'll start teaching you lessons like people always ask, well, can I eat donuts? Well, absolutely, you can. Okay, but it's like putting jet fuel in your car when you need to run 87 or whatever, okay? Can you do it? I don't actually know if you can do that, so don't do that, please. But theoretically, yes, you can put that in, but you spent a lot of money and you spent a lot of calories real fast, right? And you didn't need to. And then you don't have it later on. I don't even know if that analogy is really that good. Okay, but donuts are high carbs. They're going to take a ton of your calories for the day away. And now you can't eat the rest of the stuff. Or, even worse than that, you're just hungry. High caloric thing, but it's not sustainable. And then you're hungry the rest of the day. And you spent all your money up front, and now you don't, your currency, your calorie currency, and now you can't buy anything the rest of the day, so you just go hungry. And that's where people fail. Okay, so if you'll let it teach you to treat calories like currency, you'll spend them way better, right? You don't. Once again, it's okay if your friend invites you out for whatever, lasagna at the local Italian place. You can have that meal. You can plan ahead for it. Whatever. Okay, you can have the meal. Just understand it will take out of the rest of your currency for that day. The other thing is it just teaches you basically a healthy lifestyle. Okay, stopping and grabbing the hot box burrito at the convenience store on your way home from practice probably isn't your best option. Because once you start thinking about all the grease that's in it, plus the tortilla that it's wrapped in, plus whatever is mixed in that meat, it very quickly adds up to a bunch of stuff you don't want to be putting in your body because it steals away, once again, just like that currency. Okay? So, you don't get stuck counting macros for the rest of your life. You do it for 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, till you kind of get the hang of it. And then you just see things as caloric currency. If you look at a bowl of pasta, you know that's a lot of carbs. It teaches you to focus on getting that protein intake that everybody needs, right? Get the right amount of protein. Drink water. You can look into there's an effect, I think it's called. Just look up how water helps you lose weight, okay? But essentially, get that gallon of water a day. All right, I think that's about it. I've rambled on enough. If you have any questions, please stop being unhealthy just because it's football season. Spend $5 a meal. Carry them with you in your lunchbox in the morning. Microwave them in the field house. And you're good. And it's a good variety. Chicken, steak, fish, shrimp. You can look at whatever you want, right? Get a protein. Get a green veggie. I recommend staying green veggie in the beginning. You can kind of add up the others later as you see what kind of currency they take from you. And get sweet potatoes or rice. Get healthy. Be healthy this summer. This season. This fall. Whatever it is. If you have any questions, ChamberlainFootballConsulting@gmail.com. You can go to either of those one places on the screen. We could talk. Don't let yourself be unhealthy just because you think you're too busy or don't have the time or you can't afford to eat healthy. You absolutely can. All right, guys. Talk to you very soon.